Perspective.
Welcome to Africa at Play, live from our Auckland Park studios in Johannesburg. Coming to you live in our Auckland Park studios, rather. And it's just gone 2 minutes past 2 Central African time. And we're ready to bring you an action-packed show, sports news and updates, and also exciting discussions. Well, with me, actually, I am Prudence Makhubalo, standing in for the great Neto Chemane. And I'm thrilled to be joined with you for today for 3 hours, rather. And I'm actually not alone. I'm with Chuchu Maleka, who's making sure that the buttons are actually sounding clear. And also our producer, Andy Mali, who made this show possible. So we've got a packed show lined up for you. And for today, our topic for today, rather, it is a great insight. Well, a food for thought for you listening at home, where the 2024 Chan tournament showcased the exceptional hosting capabilities of Kenya, Uganda, and also Tanzania. Now, as they gear up to co-host the 2027 AFCON, so what lessons can be learned from that? So further discussions will be unpacked, by our correspondents, African correspondents rather. It's a show that you don't have to miss, and do join the conversation on our social media platforms. Share your thoughts rather with us on Instagram, Twitter, and also on Facebook. And we are live also on our DSTV bouquet, as well as channel 802 OpenView, also at channel 628, and also on channelafrica.co.za, also available on SABC Plus. Let's get this show started.
The Chan tournament was a very good tournament, well organized by the 3 East African countries. That was the way to go. Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. They did a fantastic job. Yes, 2027 AFCON, they want to host it. Yeah, well, why not? I mean, the facilities are there. A lesson for African countries. Well, it's simple. It's possible. This is doable. Countries can host these events. The will must be there. The government will must be there. The infrastructure must be there. The financial resources must be there. Working together must be there. It's not easy. We're now living in harsh economic times. That's a reality, and there has to be a commitment. You have to start planning. If you have a vision, very good vision, it's of good economic value. Ask Morocco, they'll testify. Morocco is doing a great job. Look at what they're doing now. Any event that comes, you want to host, they'll just tell you we'll host it. It may be a delay, but we'll host it. You have the facilities. The key thing is to have the facilities. Start to build these stadiums. Start now. Engage the neighboring countries that you feel you can be able to work with. If a country cannot go it alone, then it can work with other countries. So you engage the other countries, see how best the countries can work together, how the infrastructure development is moving, buy into the concept, and know how much money will come in. It's good money at the end of the day when you get to host these events. And sometimes maybe as a test run, you don't really just have to start by hosting the AFCON proper, WAFCON proper. You can start with other events, junior competitions, and besides, hosting these events also encourage the sports in your country to grow and develop competitively. It motivates the athletes to believe in themselves. You bring in revenue into the game of football, tourism, you expose your country, open up your country to the outside continent, also be able to come and watch even from just a global stage, because I'm sure even scouts will come and watch the players will be playing. So the benefits are huge, but what matters is the starting point itself. It has to start from somewhere. You have to be focused.
And the Nigerian football team captain William Troost Ikong talks ahead of their game against Rwanda this evening, as the Super Eagles are currently sitting in 4th place in Group C after picking up 7 points from 6 matches ahead of their home game against Rwanda, which is a must-win encounter. Nigeria then travel to Bloemfontein to take on group leaders South Africa on Tuesday, with only one team guaranteed of a place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
But yeah, no, I think the boys are very focused. We're looking for the game on Saturday. I want to thank them for the support. I want to ask them to continue to encourage us to be in the stadium on Saturday, to be praying for us, everyone else in Nigeria. It's going to be important, set up games for us now, starting on Saturday. We know the gravity of this game, and we're going to be focused on preparation, because I think that's the thing that's going to give us confidence for the game on Saturday. Benjamin is a humble, hard-working, very talented defender. I think we were all really impressed with what he showed us in the Unity Cup. To win the Unity Cup and also to come in so last minute and to play so well, it's not easy at all. So I think a big credit to him. I know how hard he's worked. Also a big credit to my teammate Moses Simon for giving him the opportunity and bringing him to his academy before he came to Brentford. So it's things that we love to see. We have a young talented player that's going to be the future of Nigeria as a defender, and we have a current very talented Super Eagle who has helped him get.
Matthew Pritzker has announced his arrival on the international stage in sensational fashion, etching his name into the record books, The 26-year-old South African opener has become the first player in the men's ODI history to score 50-plus runs in each of his first 5 innings, going past former India opener Singh Sidhu, who had, managed 4 such knocks at the start of his career. The milestone came during the second ODI between South Africa and England at Lord's, where Pritzker once again displayed his elegant stroke play and solid temperament.
Yeah, it was a challenging game. I think the partnerships we built with the bat were important. I think the wicket wasn't actually as easy as we thought it would be. We were thinking sort of a 280 score there, and it just got easier as we batted along, and playing at Lord's, there's nothing better. I would say so, a little bit. Yeah, I think we just felt that Rash was on it today. He was bowling really well and the conditions suited him, so we just had to sort of suck up and see what we could get from him, and then from the other guys look to score a little bit more freely. Yeah, I actually haven't thought about those other guys, to be honest. It's just been been going well. It's obviously I bat with Tristan Stubbs at 5, who played a lot of cricket with in my younger days, and we go to the same school, so we have a really good relationship. So yeah, hopefully it can keep going the way it's gone. Yeah, absolutely. To be honest, I love playing cricket in England. Just the crowds and the energy that the crowds bring, there's nothing better. I feed off it. So yeah, it's been good, and long may it continue.
Je, una jambo lolote akilini mwako? Je, una shauku kuhusu masuala muhimu? Na je, una maoni ambayo unataka yasikike? Kweli, hili jukwaa ni la kwako. Piga simu au tuandikie kwenda WhatsApp namba alama ya kujumulisha 2760552594 na tutakupigia simu.
Mtangazaji wa habari zetu za Afrika Kusini mjini Johannesburg.
Hivyo unaweza kuwa mshirika kwenye matangazo yetu. Sio mazungumzo tu, ni fursa yako ya kuchangia maoni yako na kushirikiana na jumuiya ya wasikilizaji wanaotamani mtazamo wako. Tufuate kwenye mitandao ya kijamii. Tembelea tovuti yetu www.channelafrica.co.za na uwe tayari kushiriki na kuchangia maoni yako kwenye Channel Africa. Channel Africa, mtazamo wa Kiafrika.
Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective. From football fields to finish lines,
Eliud Kipchoge storms into the history books.
Neto Chemane brings you sports on Africa at Play.
It's just gone 11 minutes past 2, and I'm Prudence Makhubalo standing in for the great Neto Chemane as he'll be saying as Deleli Siashaya. And on to this now, Bafana have got their fate in their own hands in the FIFA 2026 World Cup qualifier and are looking forward to the game against Nigeria on Tuesday with the possibility of sealing their ticket to the US next year. Now, this was the bold statement from head coach Hugo Broos after a convincing 3-0 win over neighbours Lesotho in a Group C match played at the Toyota Stadium in Bloemfontein last night. Now, the goals came from Mohankota, Lael Foster and Oswin Opolis, and now Broos is feeling much better after a tense week. Let's listen on to this.
Yeah, after everything what happens in the past days, it was a nervous game. It was not an easy game. I saw a very motivated Lesotho. But we did it very well, and we had some chances, we scored, we dominated. The only thing we had to do today was to keep organized and to make not stupid mistakes, and that's something we didn't do. Lesotho was kicking the ball 90 minutes in front and hoped on a mistake from our side, but we didn't do it, and we won the game. I think we deserved to win the game, and that shows again that you only win games on the pitch and not off the pitch. You know, sometimes you have a bad feeling and you can't prove it, but there is a bad feeling, and I have to be honest, I have that bad feeling also the past days. I will not go in detail, but again, what happened in the past days is not normal. Therefore, it was so important for us to win the game today. And that's what we did. And now we will see next week when we play against Nigeria. If God is with us, we can maybe qualify already next Tuesday for the World Cup, and that stays a goal for us. We are in a good situation. We have everything in our own hands, so it's up to us now to finish it. I will give you the same answer than yesterday. I don't react and comment nonsense, so I will not do it today either. Thank you. I think I said yesterday on the press conference that what I saw on training gives me confidence, also from the new boys. And when you have to come in like Zuko after, what was it, 15 minutes or something, it's not easy, certainly not for your first game. But he did it very well. And I was confident the moment he has to come in, because what I saw in training gave me confidence. And that was for all the guys. So, yeah, for us it's a pity that we have those injuries again. So Malwasana is not so bad, but Moby is out. So we have to call someone else. And I will decide in the next hour who that will be. And that's maybe the only negative point of this game. But again, that can happen in the game. And what I said a few minutes ago, I saw a very motivated and aggressive team of Lesotho. And that's also why we have those injuries. So, but again, I will see who will call for the game of next Tuesday. You know that we have a list of players, and the one who will come on Monday will be someone, or Monday, no, tomorrow already, will be someone in which I have confidence. So, okay, what happened happens, but that doesn't mean now that we are panicking. Again, we are in a very good situation, and we have to try to. First of all, about Nigeria, I will not talk today. This is something we will see with the technical staff, which team we will select for Tuesday. At the other side, what we didn't do so well the first half was using the space behind the defense of Lesotho. And that we did much better. The second half, we came too much to the ball, and that was what Lesotho wanted, because every time they were very close and very aggressive. And we couldn't find easily the spaces. But the second half it was much better. And once it was 3-0, we just kept the ball in the team, and that is what I asked from the bench. Don't go for the fourth or the fifth. Why? We just have to control the game, and we did it very well, except a few moments that we didn't. But the second half was much better, and we were more dangerous also. You ask me now, how will you play against Nigeria next Tuesday?
No, I'm not asking that. I'm just saying, how will you manage the occasion?
Manage, you know that Nigeria is a very good team, and a much better team than the team of Lesotho today. So we will have to take other measures and other tactical things than we did in the game of today. And we will see the next days, and we will try to find the right thing to beat Nigeria Tuesday. As I said, it was a nervous game, and I think what happened in the past days influenced also a little bit the players. We didn't play freely. There was also always a certain control, because we didn't want to have a surprise today. But when you see how the players managed the game in the 90 minutes, I'm very happy with it, because it was not easy. It was not easy. Mentally, it was not easy today. And certainly when you play against an opponent like Lesotho, who was very aggressive, very motivated to take points of us. But again, this is a team who progressed a lot in the last 2 years, and they can manage it. We proved it today. You know, as a coach, you know that there are people who are against you and there are people who are for you. So, whatever. You know. I didn't do something else than usual. I just prepared the players to the game and try to win it. Again, you only win games on the pitch. And that's what we did today. And that I told to the players also.
And now for more news, let's now listen on the latest from East Africa. Our Kampala-based correspondent, Sam Mpoza, for the report.
The FIFA World Cup qualifiers resumed this week with several games across Africa. In Kampala, Uganda beat Mozambique by 4-0 to climb to second place in Group B of the qualifiers. Following a goalless first half, the Uganda Cranes took the lead early in the second half, thanks to Alan Okello's long-range shot from outside the area. Rogers Mato made it 2-3 before Elio Caprodos's header from the corner kick sealed the victory for the East African nation. Coach Paul Put referred to the victory as revenge for the first leg 3-1 loss to Mozambique.
I think when we played Mozambique, we lost. But I told also the media and I told also the players that it was not because Mozambique was stronger than us. It's because of individual mistakes we did, also the red card. So it was very difficult. So I told my players today, the people are waiting for revenge. And I think today they have been showing what football is. The way we have been playing, I think in the first half, I think we had to score 2-3 goals. But I keep them asking to keep the pressure on Mozambique. And I think we played very well. We created a lot of chances. We have been missing chances, but at least 4-0, I think it's a great result. I'm very happy. But I was also a little bit disappointed that because I was expecting full stadium, but it was not full stadium. So I don't know what the Ugandans want more. So for the next game, please come out, support your boys, because the road is still long. But I have to congratulate all my players. We did a marvelous job today.
Meanwhile, Algeria leads Group G on 18 points. Now let's talk Sekafa CAF Women's Champions League qualifiers, because Uganda's Women League champions Kampala Queens were beaten by hosts Kenya Bullets by 1-0 in the opening game of the championship played at Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi. Kampala Queens coach Sharon Chiza believes her team played well despite the loss.
Of course, our ladies tried to do their best, only that we couldn't penetrate through the central line, so that we go through the defense line. And hopefully, we think they tried their best, only that it was a bad day in office. But we believe the next game that we are going to play, of course, we shall come back and show character. When you look at the opponent's team, they played very well. The character was very good. They are very aggressive, and for us, we came into the game. That was when we considered, and hopefully, I think that is something that now we are going to go back and work on. Losing our first game, I won't say that we are off the tournament or the competition. We still have other chances to come back into the game, and we believe we shall capitalize on that. At least now we have seen our mistakes that we are going to go back and work on.
And to golf, Zambia's Dominic Musonda is holding on to the lead of the amateurs tournament in the Uganda Open Golf Championship that will climax this evening at Rugazi Golf Course in central Uganda. The Zambian, who is playing in the Ugandan tournament for the first time, believes he will be first time lucky.
I can say day 3 was just okay. Like, my swing was on point today as compared to last 2 days. Like you even saw like the front 9 what I played. I think front 9 I shot I think -3, and then when going to number 10, the wind change, the weather changes. Like it was started raining, and then it was windy. And then after that I just made a silly 3 bogeys in a row. I think I just need to be focused like the way I was today. Just need to maintain the same thing, drinking the water at every shot. Yes, and then after that we'll see the result.
And finally, the Victoria Pearls, which is Uganda's women cricket team, were edged out of the T20 World Cup qualifiers by Zimbabwe this week, but they are playing in the bronze medal game against Tanzania today. And that is all we had time for from Uganda. My name is Sam Mpoza.
Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. Musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you'll be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
Now it's just gone 24 minutes past 2, and I'm your host today, Prudence Makhubalo, standing in for the great Neto Chemane. As we've heard previously on, one of our correspondents just wrapping up stories from Uganda, and we've actually heard that Uganda's FIFA World Cup qualifiers are heating up, with the Cranes currently sitting in the 3rd place in Group G, trailing in also Algeria and Mozambique. And actually on the line, I'm actually joined by our correspondent Sam Mpoza, just to give us a roundup update. How are things looking like?
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Like you said, Group G is very vibrant. Yesterday we had games. On Thursday we had the first game of the group where Algeria played against Botswana. And then Nigeria beat Botswana. Then, of course, Algeria is leading that group. Then yesterday, we had 2 games in the group where we had Uganda. The first game was between Guinea and Somalia, and then Guinea beat Somalia by 3-0. Then later in the evening, we had Uganda taking on, Uganda took on Mozambique. and then Uganda beat Mozambique by 4-0. This was a very big win for Uganda, first of all, but I think it was the biggest win in the group games that were played yesterday and Thursday. That, of course, changes. Before the games, Algeria was leading this group G with 15 points. And then Mozambique was in second position with 12 points. Because remember, Mozambique beat Uganda by 3-1 in the first leg. And the first leg was played in Cairo. The Ugandan players messed up that game a lot because one of the players was given a red card. And then I think there were also so many individual mistakes that could have led to Uganda's loss in that game. But now when they came into yesterday's game, last night's game in the Mandela National Stadium here in Kampala, the boys were very hungry for a win because, of course, they knew the reason why they lost the first leg. So they needed to prove that actually they were not a weak side, only that they lost the first leg, probably because of a few mistakes. So yesterday, in the first half, they played a very good game, missed a couple of opportunities, but in the second half, they came back with a lot more pressure, and they put Mozambique in under. And then the young man, Alan Okello, who is, I think, around 23 years old, was able to score the first goal early into the second half. And then another young man, Rogers Mato, came and scored 2 more goals before Elio Capodosi scored a header to make it 4-0 for Uganda. A very big win for Uganda, but not so helpful at the moment.
Yeah.
It only helps them to probably climb up a bit, but Algeria is too far to chase. They are now at 18 points. Uganda has lost three games in this group. Algeria has only lost 1 game. They were beaten by Guinea. By the way, Guinea beat them from Algiers by 1-0. But remember, on Monday 7th, we have another set of games in the group where Uganda will be taking on Somalia in Kampala at the Nelson Mandela National Stadium, but also Guinea will be hosting Algeria. So these are 2 important games. Of course, Mozambique will be playing Botswana. That is also another Coast-Saf derby. I know people down there in South Africa will be enjoying this derby, which will not be easy for either side, because always derbies are always derbies.
Yeah.
There is no strong team in the derby. Anyone can beat anyone. Like we always say, soccer is soccer. Anything can happen anytime in soccer. So that is Monday. So let's see what happens on Monday, because I know every Ugandan here is praying so much that Guinea beats Algeria, so that Algeria probably can come down a bit and Uganda keeps the chase and probably meet Algeria somewhere, because now we have 3 games to go in the group, because each side has games so far, because there are 6 teams in the group. So you play home and away, so you can play a maximum of 10 games in the group. So far, the teams have played 7 games. On Monday, all the teams will play their 8th game. Then there will be 2 games to go. So every game you win now counts a lot. Every loss that you make in so far now counts a lot. So it can cost you anything. But remember, there's a chance for the playoffs, because the best 4 losers in all the 9 groups to put together, the best 4 losers will play playoff, and then I think the best team out of the losers playoffs will travel to go and play the inter-federations qualifier, where they will choose, I think, 1 team to go and also join the other teams that have gone to the World Cup. Otherwise, each group out of the 9, they're choosing 1 team. The top team will qualify automatically to the World Cup. 2026, USA, Canada, and Mexico. So far that is how things are happy. Remember, his coach Paul Put, the Belgian, called back experienced coach, goalkeeper. He called back experienced goalkeeper Dennis Onyango.
Yeah, I was about to
join the
ask
team.
you the question in terms of
Yes,
Dennis
Dennis
Onyango.
Onyango.
Yeah.
Yes, he's part of the team now as we speak. But they also called back a few other players who were not on the team for some time, like the goalkeeper who started yesterday's game against Mozambique. It's some young man called Salim Jamal Magola. He plays his football in South Africa. Very good goalkeeper. Boys, even Onyango had actually announced his retirement in 2023.
Yeah.
Out of excitement, I would say, because remember that time there was controversy in the federation leading football here in Uganda. The federation president, FUFA is Federation of Uganda Football Association. Engineer Moses Magogo came out and said the boys who had played football, the championship of that year, had played shitty football. Of course, this was belittling the players. It was not good on the side of the players. Every player and the football fans received this negatively because when the team came back from Chan, they were not paid their allowances. So it took long and they were demanding for their allowances. So when the federation was put under pressure to pay the allowances of the players, then came out and said, why are they asking? Went in this tournament, they played shitty football.
Yeah.
And when the president of the federation made such a comment, all the players, most of the players, especially Nyango, who was the most respected player in Ugandan football at that time, one of the most experienced players, came out and rebuked the president and they condemned him for making such a statement. And so was Salim Jamal, who was that time playing for El Malik of Sudan, and other players. So what happened was that Onyango knew what was going to happen after him coming out on social media to condemn the president for uttering such a statement. So he knew he was going to be sidelined. So he came out and announced his retirement from football. It was out of excitement. Out of that, he announced his retirement. He said, "I've retired from national team football."
Yeah, which actually comes to my question. Sorry to interject in terms of that, but which actually comes to this question now. What is the role of experienced team players who come rather after their retirement in football? Does it mean that now with the current players that they have, there's no hope onto them?
That is the very question I put to one of the federation leaders yesterday.
Yeah.
But you see, with Onyango, when Onyango decided to retire, at the moment, the person who was supposed to follow up in his steps was Salim Jamal. But remember, Salim Jamal had also made a mistake by commenting about the president's utterances. So they dropped number one, retired, and number two was dropped because he came out and condemned the big man. And then, of course, they had to go to the third choice, who was Ismail Watenga, the goalkeeper. And then, of course, there was the first choice, and there will always be other choices. However, of course, Watenga did a good job without Onyango and Salim. But recently, when he was playing in national team game, he got injured, and he got a very bad injury. And today, as we came into these games, Ismail Watenga is going for surgery, so he couldn't be available for selection. I think the coach looked around because remember, we have just had Chan in goal. Joel Mtakubwa made some few silly mistakes that costed the team. And I think the coach couldn't trust this young man in a serious competition like the World Cup qualifier. And remember, we are planning and preparing for the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco in December this year. So the coach was looking far. He saw clearly that there was a gap in the in the goalkeeping area, because that can cost you a lot. The other players can do their job very well, the 10 players, but the 11th player, if he's not very good and he has Paula's hands, then there's always a problem. So the coach, I hear, had to consult and talk to some people who could talk to Onyango and Isma, and the Jamal Magola, Salim. So they talked to them and they were able to convince Onyango to come back on board, because first of all, Onyango is a respected footballer in Ugandan football and in African football. So when he's around the boys, he encourages them. For example, yesterday he didn't play the game, but the fact that he was around, he was on the bench, that was motivation enough for the young people to push themselves that far. And I'm sure they got that win because they felt that their team was full with Onyango and Salim. If they knew in the goal they had a trusted person, and then they knew there was someone on the bench who could actually also give them motivation, so they could push themselves that far. So it is not because there was nobody to take over. There is always someone to come in, but how good are they? That is one thing. But again, what does a player add to the team, even if they are not on the pitch? But just by the fact that they are around the boys. So what can they do? So I think this is the reason why Onyango was called back to the team. It doesn't sound well, because if you decide to go on retirement, it's a decision that you have thought about, and it should be a final decision. It is not always good to come back when you retire, but he did it, which is good for the team, not very good for him as a person, for his repetition, but good for the team, and I think it's working out, because we are going for Africa Cup of Nations. Uganda may not have so many chances in the World Cup qualifiers, as I told you, because when you look at even the second place teams as we speak now, Uganda is around 7th, yet they are going to take 4. So the whole plan is to prepare for the Africa Cup of Nations 2026, but 2025 in December. But remember, Uganda is also hosting the Africa Cup of Nations finals in 2027, which they are going to co-host with Tanzania and Kenya. So that is also in the pipeline, and same team is being prepared for the same tournament. So I think calling back the experienced players on the team, the whole thing is about preparing the team for those two big tournaments, not the World Cup qualifiers. This World Cup qualifier is just a dress rehearsal. The main thing is Africa Cup of Nations 2026 and Africa Cup of Nations 2027.
Yeah. And now moving to the agenda of the Uganda Open Golf Championship. So what are the most challenging aspects of Uganda's golf courses, and how can, the golfers prepare to tackle them?
Yes, sorry, come back.
Just to repeat that again, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Well, moving on to the Uganda Open Golf Championships, what are the most challenging prospects, or rather aspects of Uganda's golf courses, as well as how can the golfers prepare to tackle them?
Well, a golf course is a golf course.
Yeah.
And you see, what makes a golf course a very good golf course is the challenges. The most challenging golf course is the best in the world. I think no one would want to go and play on a golf course that is not challenging. And that's why we have barriers everywhere on the golf course. So I wouldn't expect anyone to complain about challenges on the golf course. A good player would actually go for any challenge, because that is what makes them good players. So the Ugandan golf courses, yes, the same like you find anywhere a golf course. They would only differ probably where you find it, and a few changes in the setup and the topography of the area where the golf course is located. The current Uganda Open is being played at a golf course called Lugazi Golf Course, That is somewhere around central Uganda. It's a hilly area, so I would expect people to play on a golf course lying on the hilly area. Of course, it will not be as straight as you expect. It will not be the same as a golf course found in a flat land. So probably that would be the challenge. That because I also had Dominic Musonda, the Zambian golfer who is leading the amateurs tournament of the Uganda Golf Open of this year. He talked about Zambia having flat golf courses. Then when he came to Uganda, this one is a little bit hilly. Somewhere you find slopes and, ups and downs. Because sometimes you hit the ball, it has to roll on its own. And you see, despite all that, the man is leading guys who are playing on this golf course day in, day out. So that makes him a very good golfer.
Yeah.
But no matter where he goes, no matter the topography of where he is playing from, he's a good golfer. He can maneuver anything, any challenge. And to me, if he wins this Uganda Open, because by this morning he was leading by 1 stroke.
Yeah.
Because yesterday he played par. He played par at the 71. The course they are playing is 71 par. So yesterday he played level. The other day he played 2 under. On the first day he played 6 under. So that shows you that he knows what he's doing and is very consistent. The guys who are playing on this golf course day in, day out are trading him. So I think no one would complain about challenges on the golf course.
Yeah. Okay, as you said, no one can complain about challenges in the golf course. So if you could just stay with me on the line, we will be, taking a short break after this meanwhile.
Africa at Play, beautifully, happily marrying sports and music.
Ukatili wa kijinsia unaharibu maisha na kutenga jamii. Hutokea nyumbani, shuleni, kazini na mara nyingi kwa ukimya. Lakini hauwezi kuendelea. Ukiona, ongea. Ikiwa unaumia, funguka, kwa sababu kutofanya lolote sio chaguo. Sikiliza vituo vyote 19 vya redio kuanzia Jumatano ya tarehe 23 Julai kwenye mijadala, ushauri, tamthilia, maonyesho ya elimu na mahojiano na wataalamu, manusura, watunga sheria na nchi nzima iliyoathirika na ukatili wa kijinsia kwenye vituo vyako pendwa vya redio. Piga simu 0800 428 ili kuripoti unyanyasaji au kupata msaada. GBV ikomeshwe na wewe. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwenu na shirika la SABC.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
It's just gone 44 minutes past 2 Central African Time, and you with me, Prudence Makhubalo, standing in for the great Neto Chemane. And just to actually continue with our sport wrap in Uganda sports with correspondent Sam Mpoza, just talking about, the challenges, the weaknesses, and also strengths in Uganda sports. And just to continue with our conversations, as you've alluded, that there's actually no challenges in the golf course. And now just moving on to this question now, who are your top contenders in the tournament of the Uganda Open Golf Championships, and what are their strengths and weaknesses, just to dive into that?
Top contenders as we speak now, Dominic Musonda, Zambian player who came to play in this tournament, and then the net with the toe with Uganda's Joseph Chinyai. Now, Chinyai yesterday was trailing Musonda by 1 stroke. Like I told you, Chinyai plays on this golf course day in, day out, so a home thing. He knows it well, but Musonda is beating him to his game, and it's between the two. Which is Joseph Chinyai, a Ugandan, and Dominic Musonda from Zambia, but there are also Kenyans and Tanzanians and Rwandans plus Burundians who are participating in this tournament. But the top contenders, the guys one who take it is there are two, and that is Dominic Musonda, Joseph Chinyai of Uganda.
Yeah. So with that said, so with those people actually having the, the beauty of golf, so how can golfers rather balance the scenic beauty of Uganda's golf courses with the competitive demands of the tournament?
Oh, come again. I'm somehow the line blocked a bit.
Yeah, just to rephrase the question, how can golfers balance the scenic beauty of Uganda's golf courses with the competitive demands of the tournament?
Well, first of all, the beauty of the golf courses, like I told you, I think it's golf courses somehow everywhere I've gone to, they're unique. They're similar in terms of, because you'll find the trees planted around the golf course as barriers, and then the very beautiful greens, and then the very beautiful fairways, well maintained, and they're all set up to a certain standard, international accepted standard. The difference would be maybe in a few things, like we said, especially maybe where the look, how the clubhouse looks, and the services offered at the clubhouse. So nothing much, I think the golfers need to do. Recently, I was in Kenya at the Tiger Golf Club, where we had the Kenya Magical World, the DP Tour. Kenya Magical Open. It doesn't differ much from what I see in Uganda. So I think something. Golf courses are a little bit similar in everything, and nothing much can be done by golfers to change anything there, apart from probably maintaining. And of course, golf is a rich man's game. You like it or not, mostly the corporate people who play this game. It's very hard to find a golf course in a village community, somewhere deep in the village, and you find a golf course, unless a rich man went there and also established it there, and it would still attract his rich men who will come and play there. So, it being a rich man's game, everything around, because there's a lot of money amassed in it. For example, here in Uganda, if you go to the Uganda Golf Club here in Kampala, you'd find that it's only the government officials, army generals, the CEOs of corporate organizations, the guys who gather around the golf course in every evening, and a few people who may probably come from the third class people, especially those who convert from caddies and then become golfers. And most times they are the ones who turn professional, because for them they do it for money. The rich people come around to just pass time and to do it as a hobby.
Yeah. And just talking about the topic of today, what are some of the key successes and challenges faced by Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania during the CHAN 2024 tournament?
Well, yes, CHAN just ended recently. A lot of success stories. One of it is that at least now the football fans in East Africa have learned to buy tickets online. It has always been a business here of people buying tickets from the gate when they are accessing the stadium. You have to buy, and then somehow in Uganda, FUFA tried to improve it by taking the tickets to different selling points in petrol stations, supermarkets, so you'd buy a ticket from the supermarket. But this, they were always at a risk of being forged. They were always at a very big risk of being forged, because someone would buy a ticket probably 3 days to the game, and then they'll see the features on the ticket, and they are very wise guys who can go and fake this ticket, and they come up with another type of probably duplicate they can duplicate the same ticket, and then like 4 people can use the same ticket to access the stadium. So now it is online, because I saw it in the yesterday's games where all the fans who accessed the stadium had to buy tickets online. Not the case before Chan. Actually, I remember when the Chan competition came here, and people were told they were going to buy tickets online, and there was a lot of protest among the fans. They were saying, no, for us, we are not used to that. People were saying, now that means if I don't have a smartphone, I'm not going to watch the game. But because it was a CAF competition, so CAF insisted. They said, this is the way we do our things. This is our way of doing things. And then people had to contend with what actually CAF was saying, and they bought the tickets online. So FUFA were able to copy from CAF, and this time around, the Uganda Cranes versus Mozambique tickets were bought online.
Yeah.
And this is something FUFA says that's going to go on. We saw, yesterday we were talking about it here with a friend of mine. So many people made a lot of money from different things, especially people who are managing, offering different services like hotel services, transport services, telecommunications, banking. There were also people who sold jerseys of the different countries, because the Ugandan jersey actually was on a black market here in Kampala. The Uganda Cranes jersey was on black market every day. There was a game. The prices were skyrocketing every day. Then there were also sales of jerseys of the other countries that played in Uganda, like Niger and Guinea and Algeria, and people made good money out of this.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of impact of Chan in Uganda, but it was also a learning curve for especially the 3 countries, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, ahead of the hosting of the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations finals, because now everyone knows what to expect, from the fans to the guys offering security services and other services, but also to the local federation and CAF, because now CAF knows what they should expect when they bring AFCON here to East Africa, because they have tested East Africa. They have seen many people watch the games, especially the games that involved home teams. I think I can confidently say that I think this is the chance that CAF has made the most money in terms of gate collection, because each hosting country in Chan played 4 games. That is, Uganda played 4 games in this championship in Chan, Kenya played 4 games, and Tanzania played 4 games. Now, for all the 4 games for each country, it was always full house in these stadiums. Whenever Uganda played, it was always full house. Those are 4 games. That's 4 games in Tanzania, plus another 4 games in Kenya. Those are 12 full capacity stadium games, which means that CAF got their money from 12 games, apart from the few other games that were played between after the quarterfinal games, because when the 3 East African countries fell off the train in the quarterfinal stage, of course the numbers of people coming to watch the games reduced, and this is something that the Pamoja committee. The Pamoja means the East Africa group that is hosting the tournament. This is something they should find a solution for. That if the 2 are hosting the tournament, when they get out of the tournament, if they cannot proceed up to the final, what should we do to ensure that people still come back to watch the game? That people can still come back and pay for the games and watch them. So that is something that they need to go back and sit on a round table and plan for, so that when AFCON comes in 2027, even if Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania are out of the tournament, probably in the group stage, people will still come back and watch second round, and the quarterfinals and semifinals and final, and they should be able to play, because the last game that was in Uganda, the third place playoff, people were allowed to enter for free. people did not pay because in the other games that Uganda was not playing, not very many people came to watch the game. So they wanted the stadium to be full. So they announced that everyone would come to watch the game for free. But of course, that would mean a lot on the part of CAF. So this is something they need to plan for. Otherwise, by and large, the competition was good, and a lot of lessons were learned by everyone, fans, hosts, and service providers.
Yeah. Yeah, and just before we wrap up this conversation with your analysis, it actually, made me to think that, these tournaments actually bring opportunities for tourism as well as economic development as well as cultural exchange through the co-hosting of major football tournaments. But before we part ways, rather, those tournaments, or rather Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania use their joint hosting experience to attract more international sporting events and also to promote their countries as a premier destinations for sports tourism. So what impact would that have within the horizon of those countries?
Well, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania have not been hosting big international events because these countries have not been having good infrastructure.
Yeah.
We recently discussed this with Sir Neto, Mr. Neto Chemane. We discussed it, especially when I was in Kenya for the DP World Tour Golf Championship, Kenya Magical, because probably this year, the DP World Tour was the biggest international tournament coming to East Africa, and it would only come to Kenya. The last big thing we had here was the Africa Athletic World Championship, and I think, and the World and the World Cross Country Championship that came in Uganda. It's 2018, 2017, around there. That was the biggest event that came to Uganda, and that was an athletics. We have not seen big football, international big tournaments coming to Uganda, football tournaments coming to Uganda. We have not seen one coming to Tanzania. Neither have I seen any big football tournament international coming to Kenya and Tanzania. So, by the three East African countries hosting the Africa Cup of Nations, first of all, governments have been put on pressure to put up infrastructure in terms of stadiums, in terms of hotels, in terms of international airports, because Uganda has now built another international airport in western Uganda, where they have also built another international football stadium, because it will host both football and other sports events, athletics and others, swimming and others. So that means if the infrastructure has been upgraded in the countries, East Africa countries, then that means the other international tournaments can come to the region. And of course that means a lot to the economies of these countries. Remember, East Africa is comprised of so many other countries. I think there are now 7, but mostly Uganda and Kenya are dominant. Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania are dominant. And so if big tournaments like that come to these 3 countries, that means the whole region benefits in terms of the economy, but also further development in other things, like in sports, because local talent is given the chance to get exposed to the international level without much hassling. And then, of course, the fans also get a chance to see the big stars they have been watching on TV, see them with their eyes. And of course, the sports disciplines also increases, because for only chance, I saw many people who are not football fans yearning to get tickets to go and watch the tournament, because it was the big thing around town. And it was a trend now that you cannot stay home when everyone is going to watch a game. So, and especially the young people who were not so much into sports. probably their interests were in watching movies, doing other things, music and others. Then they got attracted to sports. And those now are new recruits in terms of, fan base. But among them, some of them will even still become participants. They will become athletes because they have fixed interests. So that it's a big thing. The results of us hosting international events, especially starting from CHAN and AFCON, the results are immeasurable. You cannot measure them. So I think that's what I can say about that.
Yeah. As you've just said that it's actually a big thing. Just a simple question. Do you think that they are ready to host AFCON?
Well, like I said, we are now set.
Yeah.
The three countries are set because you watched CHAN, you saw the quality of the facilities. I can say they are top-notch facilities. I think you watched the Mandela National Stadium in Uganda. This is where the Bafana played. It is a very good stadium. It has been improved to international standards. The Moi International Stadium in Kenya, very good stadium, international standards. Nyayo Stadium has also been improved greatly. But there's also Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Dar es Salaam, in Tanzania. Very good quality. And those are the few, because Uganda has built two more that are about to be finished, one in western Uganda and another one in northern Uganda. Kenya is also building other stadiums. Recently I was in Kakamega, western Kenya. There's a stadium being put up in Kakamega. Very good stadium, though it has not yet been completed, but it hosted the East Africa Secondary School Games. But it's very big stadium and good. I think by 2027 it will be complete. Tanzania is also doing the same. So by the time we come to 2027, the three East African countries will be very ready. Yeah. Because as we speak today, they are ready. And I think they will still be more ready given the period remaining between now and 2027.
Yeah, and there was the voice of Semboza stating that the three East African countries are very ready to host those tournaments. And we are going to be coming on to a short break. It's 3:03. Stay tuned for more.
You like what we do on Channel Africa? Then follow us on our socials. Channel Africa 1 on all social pages. And get the African perspective.
Enge bai pale yonke minyango. Nama young bees I'm a thousand. Asami asihlaseleni solo lempile mna. Kunini saba wena yose fike lakusasa. Enge bai pale yonke minyango. Nama young bees I'm a thousand. Asihlaseleni solo lempile mna. Kunini saba wena yose fike lakusasa. Enge bai pale yonke minyango. Nama young bees I'm a thousand. 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 Bangena ngento senta umsholo ulila masanga ingilosi la impilo enyami ay malume kukulo kusayo bangena ngento senta umsholo ulila masanga ingilosi la impilo enyami ay malume kukulo kusayo so hard way 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 so hard way 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 yo bangena ngento senta umsholo ulila masanga ingilosi la impilo enyami ay malume kukulo bangena ngento senta umsholo ulila masanga ingilosi la impilo enyami ay malume kukulo sayo so hard way 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 so hard way 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 yo way hard way hard way hard way hard way hard way so hard so hard so hard hard way
Africa at Play. Beautifully, happily marrying sports and music. Heritage are the songs we sing, the meals we share, the wisdom we pass to our children. Channel Africa.
Time for the bass. No. Sound not done yet. Time for the bass.
And that was a beautiful soundtrack right there. That's Amandebele. Well, that's Oskido featuring Kendi. And before that was Adiwele, Kabza the Small featuring Jan Stana. And now with some more news updates, and now with some of the news in West Africa, our Lagos-based correspondent Tony Ubani has more on the region. Let's listen in for more.
The Super Eagles are gearing up for the World Cup qualifiers match against Rwanda on Saturday, and team captain William True-Sekong has confirmed the Super Eagles' readiness for their against Rwanda and South Africa as the race for the 2026 FIFA World Cup inches towards the finish line. True-Sekong expressed gratitude to the fans for their support, emphasizing the importance of cooperation among players towards the showdown matches, first with Rwanda on Saturday and South Africa on next week, Tuesday. We are going to be focused on cooperation because I think that's the thing that is going to give us confidence for the game on Saturday, the Al-Kalu defender said. The team is determined to secure a positive result against Rwanda, which will boost their chances of qualifying for the World Cup. I want to ask them, the fans, to continue to encourage us to be in the stadium on Saturday to be praying for us, everyone else in Nigeria, he said. With the fans' support, the Super Eagles are confident of securing a positive result and taking a step closer to qualifying for the World Cup. Speaking on the new faces in the team, True-Sekong praised young defender Benjamin Frederick, who impressed with his performance in the London Unity Cup in May. The captain of the Super Eagles, True-Sekong, speaks.
We're here now. We're waiting for the last few players to arrive very shortly. Looking forward to having a full house for training tonight. But yeah, no, I think the boys are very focused. We're looking forward to the game on Saturday. I want to thank them for the support. I want to ask them to continue to encourage us to be in the stadium on Saturday, to be praying for us, everyone else in Nigeria. No, it's going to be important, set up games for us now, starting on Saturday. We know the gravity of this game, and yeah, we're going to be focused on preparation because I think that's the thing that's going to give us confidence for the game on Saturday. Benjamin is a humble, hard-working, very talented defender. I think we were all really impressed with what he showed us in the Unity Cup. To win the Unity Cup and also to come in so last minute and to play so well, it's not easy at all. So I think a big credit to him. I know how hard he's worked. Also a big credit to my teammate Moses Simon for giving him the opportunity and bringing him to his academy before he came to Brentford. So it's things that we love to see. We have a young talented player that's going to be the future of Nigeria as a defender, and we have a current very talented Super Eagle who has helped him get the opportunity to play professional football.
He's not just alone. We've got a loaded team of the players, who spoke to us on Channel Africa, and Fulham midfielder Alex Iwobi also declared Nigeria's readiness for the crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda. Eric Chelsman will host the Amavubi in a matchday 7 encounter at the Gospel Akpabio International Stadium Uyo on Saturday. The three-time African champions have recorded just one win from 6 games in the qualifiers. They sit in 4th position in Group C with 7 points, 6 adrift from leader South Africa. The Super Eagles must beat the Amavubi to stand any chance of picking the group ticket ahead of the crucial fixture. Iwobi is confident the team will get the job done. The mood is good in camp and everyone is feeling good and optimistic. We are all looking forward to the game, Iwobi declared. We are excited to play our first game against Rwanda. Hopefully, we can prepare well and get the results we want. After that, we can think about the game against South Africa, which is also very important. The game will kick off on Saturday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Alex Iwobi speaks.
My message will be to continue supporting us as players we believe. So if you guys can believe in us as well and give us the energy that we need to go and get the result that we want to do to achieve to go to the World Cup. The mood's good. Everyone's feeling good and optimistic. So we're excited to play our first game against Rwanda. Hopefully we can prepare well and, like I said, get the result we want. For me as a player, I don't even really look at stats, but it's a privilege and an honour to represent 3 big teams in the Premier League, and I'm grateful for the opportunities that the managers have given me. So yeah, to be at such conversations like Shola Amiobi, that's a legend in the Premier League, I'm grateful, but it's still a journey. I'm still going to try and play as many games as I can, and hopefully I can surpass it with great numbers.
From Alex Iwobi, we move on to Aino, who currently plays for his club at Nottingham Forest. And he said, a message to Nigerians is that, we know it's a tough task ahead of us, but we are ready for the challenge. So keep believing and supporting us. Ola Aino speaks.
A message to Nigerians is that, we know it's a tough task ahead of us, but we're ready to, for the challenge, and we're looking forward to it. At the end of the day, it's another 2 games of football, and we're going to try our best, and we're looking forward to it. So keep believing and supporting us. I just like to play football. That's my thing. I like to play football. I like to enjoy while I'm playing football, so that's what keeps me going.
Birmingham City defender Bright Osai Samuel said that the players believe that they can turn the table around with beating Rwanda on Saturday before moving on to South Africa on Tuesday to get their World Cup back on track by upsetting Bafana. Bright Osai Samuel speaks.
Be one of our most important games. We know how difficult it can be. I have full belief in our sport, our coach, and possibility that we've got.
Frank Onyeka, who plays his football for Brentford FC in England, also insisted that the Super Eagles can still qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup despite the team's poor run in the qualifiers. I know we are in a difficult situation, but there is still a chance for us. We just need to win our next 4 games and hopefully we can qualify. Frank Onyeka speaks.
We are trying to do everything we can, so right now the problem is against Rwanda. So we've had some time to make sure we come out with it. Like I said, we need to take the game off the side. Right now, our own support is against Rwanda. After the one that they will
The Super Eagles are all bearing their minds. Fisher Odele Bashiru also said that the Super Eagles won't give up in their quest to secure a place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup game in South Africa. The Super Eagles currently occupy 4th position in Group C with 7 points from 6 games. Only the group winners are guaranteed a place at the Mundial. Dele Bashiru declared that they will keep fighting hard to secure a ticket to the 2026 World Cup finals. The players, the coaching staff, and all the fans will have the same expectations for these upcoming games, which is to win the games against Rwanda and South Africa, Dele Bashiru said. We're in a difficult situation now, 6 points off the top, but I think everyone knows that we need to do, and that is what we are going to work towards. The squad is complete, the work really starts, and I'm confident we'll get the job done. After the game against the Mavubi slated for Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo on Saturday, the Super Eagles will shift focus to another crucial tie with Bafana of South Africa. The match day 8 tie with South Africa will take place at the Toyota Stadium, Bloemfontein, next week, Tuesday. Wilfred Ndidi has said that the Super Eagles can afford another bad result against Rwanda. The Super Eagles failed to beat the Warriors of Zimbabwe in their last home fixture. Eric Chelsman will host the Mavubi in a crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying match day 7 encounter at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo on Saturday, knowing that nothing but a win will put them in contention to qualify for the Mundial. Ndidi declared that the focus must be on the game with Rwanda for now. The Besiktas of Turkey midfielder stated that securing maximum points against the Mavubi is the best objective of the team. We are not looking at the game against South Africa yet, because the game against Rwanda is the most important one in our hands right now, and we can't let it sleep. Ndidi said, if we let it sleep, it's finished. If we let the Rwanda game sleep, there is nothing like rivalry in South Africa. We have to win the game against Rwanda first, then we focus on the game against South Africa. And also, the Nigeria Football Federation is not left behind as the Super Eagles camp fills up in Uyo ahead of Saturday's FIFA 2026 World Cup qualifier against Rwanda at Godswill Akpabio Stadium. The Secretary General of Nigeria Football Federation, Dr. Sanusi Mohammed, has expressed optimism that things will work out well for the team. The NFL scribe admitted that he was excited that none of them opted out of the invitations extended to them to turn up for the upcoming games. The preparations are on top gear the players selected by the coach all accepted the invitation sent to them. So I believe by the grace of God, things will work out well for us, Sanusi enthused. NFL scribe Sanusi speaks.
From here, the players have already been selected by the coach and the invitation extended to them. I believe that by the grace of God, things will work out well for us.
While NFL scribe is praying and hoping for good results, former Super Eagles captain Sunday Olise has called for the sack of the Nigeria Football Federation NFF board if Nigeria fails to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. Speaking on the Super Eagles' no chance situation in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, Olise, who once handled the national team, said for as long as the current NFF regime continues to be in place, Nigeria football will remain stagnant. Although the former Nigeria coach believes the 2026 World Cup ticket is still a possibility, he noted that the country's chances are slim. Olise said, you don't do the same thing every time and expect a different result. And then you cannot be driving towards Badagry and expect to find yourself in Sokoto. No, it can't happen. He underlined the seriousness of Nigeria's inability to qualify for the World Cup back to back and the negative impact it would have on the country's quest for global excellence in the game. Each time we fail to qualify for the World Cup, the country loses hundreds of billions of naira, and there is nowhere in the world that the football administrators are not kicked out when they fail to qualify. If we don't want to act, we are going to continue to wallow in mediocrity. But let us all be aware that for every 4 years that we fail to qualify for the World Cup, our football goes back 8 years. He sounded a warning. Something drastic must be done if we expect different results. Sunday Olise speaks.
Qualify for the next World Cup. And people who are running football in Nigeria are still in their position. The federation. Then we don't deserve to even qualify for the next one. Because if you, as an administration, 2 consecutive World Cups don't qualify, that is worth hundreds of billions to a country's football industry. You don't qualify. There is nowhere in the world that the whole administration will not be put out. So it's up to us to decide if we're going to act or we're going to continue like this. If we're going to continue to live in mediocrity, it's good. But let's just be aware that every 4 years that you don't qualify for the World Cup, your football goes back 8 years. That is how it runs. Although I still believe we can qualify, but it will kill our football. So we have to do something drastic. You cannot keep driving the same way towards Badagry and expect to find yourself in Sokoto. It can't happen. You are going the opposite direction.
Benin Republic coach Neto, who was formerly handler of the Super Eagles, has urged FIFA to do the needful by deducting 3 points from South Africa for fielding an ineligible player in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. A possible points deduction hands over the team after Buchanan featured in the 2-0 win over Lesotho. The 28-year-old should have been serving a suspension in the game after receiving a yellow card in their opening clash against Benin and another against Zimbabwe. Speaking, Ross stated that he expects FIFA to have taken action against South Africa. It is not normal that we don't know the situation about the points on the log table before our game this week. It is very, very strange. Normally, South Africa should lose 3 points and they should go to Lesotho, but nobody knows why they, FIFA, did not take the decision. Recall that Bafana lead the standing with 13 points, 5 ahead of Rwanda and Benin, and 6 ahead of Nigeria, whom they host in a crunch game in Bloemfontein next Tuesday. Lesotho has 6 points, and Zimbabwe sit last on 4. And before we go, let's tell you that football fans will pay the sum of 3,000 naira and 1,000 naira respectively to watch Saturday's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying match between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Amavubi of Rwanda at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo. Tickets for the VIP section will go for 3,000 naira and the popular seats will sell for 1,000 naira at designated centers within the Uyo metropolis, starting from Friday and on Saturday. NFM's Director of Marketing and Sponsorship, Alizo Chooks, said yesterday it is important to let the general public know that the NFF Security Committee has declared total war on all ticket manipulators this time. Ticket fakers and racketeers will be dealt with. All tickets will be scanned at the gates. Unintended spectators are advised to buy their tickets from accredited ticket sellers. Fake ticket sellers or holders will be arrested and prosecuted. Ahead of Saturday's match, the Mabubi contingent landed at the Victor Ata International Airport, Uyo. The delegation was led by the newly elected president of the Federation, Rwandese the Football Association, Fabrice Aguga. The contingent was well received by a team from the local organizing committee and is staying at a bomb hotel and golf resort. Uyo, that's the size of sports roundup in Nigeria. For Channel Africa Sports, Tony Ubane reporting.
AUSISA, the Association of Water and Sanitation Institution of South Africa, is a platform uniting Africa's water professionals. This November, Africa leads the conversation on water and sanitation. Join global and African leaders at the AUSISA Africa and Global South Dialogue 2025 from the 9th till the 12th of November at the Emperor's Palace. From policy innovation, this is where action meets collaboration for a water-secure future. Register today at ausisa-watersan-dialogue.org or follow at AUSISA on social media. AUSISA, working together for sustainable water and sanitation security in Africa. The stories, the scores, the spirit of the game. Catch Africa at Play with Neto Chemane. Saturdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on Channel Africa.
It's 34 minutes past 3 and I am standing in for Neto Chemane and I'm Prudence Makhubalo actually, just in case you didn't know. And moving on to the next story, 5 months ago actually, the South African Football Association actually announced a groundbreaking partnership with global technology brand Honor, naming them rather the exclusive technology devices sponsor of Bafana Bafana. Now this strategic alliance marks a significant milestone in the South African football, leveraging cutting-edge technology to enhance team performance, player recovery, as well as fan engagement. Now, as Bafana Bafana aims to, qualify for the World Cup, I actually believe rather that we can be able to expect innovative solutions from them. And joining me on the line is Fred Zoe, CEO at Honor South Africa. And welcome to Africa at Play, Fred. And just delving into this conversation, what are the implications of this partnership and what can fans expect from this fusion of technology and sports?
Hello. Yeah, this is Fred Zoe from Honor South Africa, the CEO. And, from our side, we always believe that technology and the sport actually share a common purpose. And that's to push the boundaries and unlock the potentials of human beings and achieve the extraordinary. So it has been a goal for us to ensure that our business contributors to grow and develop to our sports industries. So our collaboration with the South Africa Football Association, SAFA, and the national team, Bafana Bafana, has been a long-term coming. So from our side, we want to enrich ourselves in the fabric of South Africa, with South Africa being a big sporting nation and Bafana being the pride and, for the nations. So today we have an event with all the team members, and we give them all our latest Honor 400 series to help the team and the coach to have more closer relationship touch with the fans, and also help them to check their fitness and build more, let's say, better conditions, physical conditions to prepare for the games.
Yeah, and actually, what does it mean in terms of business? I mean, as brands such as, Honor, there is a bit of advertising. So what does it mean as a brand, most especially if South Africa qualifies in the World Cup?
So, this partnership is not only signifies recognition of how technology or some honor to impact all the spheres of life, but also a moment of unite pride and hope for what we can achieve together as brand. So as one of the fastest growing tech brands in South Africa, this opportunity is a testament to the fact that, let's say, advanced wearables and AI device phones are tailored to monitor fitness and recover of our players. So from Honor side, I would say it's a win-win situation to no matter from Bafana Bafana side and owner side.
Yeah, and just to elaborate more on the specific technologies, what are you offering into the players and also the fans?
So from our side, we provide the handset to all the players with our latest Honor 400 series, so they can have the experience. They can take the gorgeous photos, no matter from the daily life or the exercise, to share with the fans with their latest situations. And the coach team, and we also give them the clips for them to have when they have travels, so they have the clip to relax. And for the coach team, we help them with the laptops and the tablets to monitor and record all the let's say the training sessions, training situations for all the teams.
The sound of, or rather the voice of Fred. So if you can just stay with us on the line, we'll be back with you shortly after this short break.
AUSISA, the Association of Water and Sanitation Institution of South Africa, is a platform uniting Africa's water professionals. This November, Africa leads the conversation on water and sanitation. Join global and African leaders at the AUSISA Africa and Global South Dialogue 2025 from the 9th till the 12th of November at the Emperor's Palace, Johannesburg. From policy innovation, this is where action meets collaboration for a water-secure future. Register today at ausisa-watersan-dialogue.org or follow at AUSISA on social media. AUSISA, working together for sustainable water and sanitation security in Africa. Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
Welcome back. It's just gone 40 minutes past 3, and we actually still have Fred Zoe, the CEO of Honor South Africa, on the line. And just to be able to continue with this discussion on, the sponsorship, or rather the partnership between SAFA and Honor, just your intake on the influence for fan experience. What can, the supporters expect in terms of new content as well as engagement opportunities?
So right now, hello?
Yes, I can hear you, Fred.
Yeah, so right now, no matter with the Bafana plays with from yesterday, for example, from yesterday with Lesotho, and we partner with Super Sport United, and everyone in South Africa can participate into the honor moment with us together, and to select the best moment of the team, and also the consumers can log in our digital platform, no matter Facebook or Twitter, and we will have a lot of different activities to relate to our to all the South Africa football fans, football lovers together.
Yeah. With that said, are there any plans to extend the partnership beyond Bafana Bafana? Maybe if you could also extend the partnership with Banyana Banyana, probably in future, because they also, do qualify rather into the World Cup.
So actually, from our side, we already we partner with the SAFA together.
Yeah.
So except the Bafana Bafana, when Amagita, we know they won the AFRICOM and they come back to South Africa, we host events for them at the airport. So we say we are also partner with Amagita right now.
Yeah.
Yes, but Bayana is also on the list.
Yeah. And then also, what is the role of supporting, the broader football ecosystem in South Africa and beyond just the national team?
I think the AI functions, like right now, everyone is talking about AI. That's the future technologies. And Honor is the global leading AI ecosystem provider.
Oh, wow.
So we think with our AI system, AI technologies can help the football industries.
Yeah. So in terms of what, if you can just unpack that on AI helping the football industry?
Let me use one example to to explain. For example, the the AI functions, the AI technologies in our phones or in our tablets, laptop, can, for example, they can give the, let's say, the forecast or simulation, the simulation of the players' like behaviors, or like different like time, what kind of like conditions he will be the best. So either can provide the suggestions to the coach team and also get like better, let's say, training plans, etc.
All right. Thank you so much. I believe that you need to rush over to, probably another meeting or so forth. But thank you so much for joining us on Africa at Play. And that was Zed, the CEO of Honor South Africa, just unpacking us on the impact of technology, most especially AI. AI actually has, or rather artificial intelligence, having an influence rather within the sporting industry in South Africa. Let's just take a quick ad break.
You heard something you like on Channel Africa and you would like to hear it again? Worry not, we've got your back. Just go to our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, and look for our podcast. In this episode of Channel Africa Conversations, Peter talks to Dr. Tulisile Buddha, an academic, author, and an expert in indigenous knowledge systems. Join us for a compelling discussion on preserving African languages and traditions in the digital era. Dr. Tulisile unpacks the role of educators, explorers, and how technologies like AI can support cultural preservation, and challenges us to rethink how we honor African heritage. You can find the episode on YouTube, SABC Plus, and on our website, channelafrica.co.za. This episode is a must-listen for educators, creators, and change makers across the continent. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
It's 45 minutes past 3, and I'm your host, Prudence Makhubalo, standing in for Neto Chemane. I mean, like, just going back to that conversation with Fred. I mean, like, who would think that, AI would have such an impact within sports? Well, just going into this conversation now, I am actually joined by Yamkele Sifingo, a seasoned sports journalist with extensive experience on online and also radio publications. Now, as the founder of Hot Spotting Premium Sport News, rather, as an online publication, Yamgela will be able to bring us, one of the sporting updates, also rather sporting codes within football, rugby, and so forth. Well, welcome to Africa at Play, Yamgela.
Good afternoon to you, Prudence, and greetings to the listeners of Africa at Play.
Sure, and just to get into this conversation, what actually brought you into excitement within the world of sports this week? Most especially now that this morning we actually had a heartbreak with the All Blacks.
Well, a lot has been happening, Prudence, this week. It started with the Proteas being able to see the win towards the end of the week, and we had raised up our hopes that all our national teams will be doing well because it's been a busy weekend. But we did see Ibafana Bafana yesterday playing their World Cup qualifier against Lesotho, which I think all the football fanatics and supporters of our national team were actually proud and happy yesterday because they were able to retain a 5-point lead at the top of the table standings, winning with the 3-0 against Lesotho. And it was actually a great performance looking at how they were able to start the ball from the back, building those passes, going through the center, distributing wide and getting those crosses and playing those short balls, actually taking a shot into the net. So we were actually satisfied with what we saw, even though it was not maybe the usual squad that we normally see, but we did see Coach Hugo Bruce even taking from the players that were participating in CHAN, trying to rebuild and open up his pool, building up to the AFCON early December towards next year.
Yeah, and just to unpack more on that, do you really think that Bafana Bafana is actually, or rather will qualify, most especially coming on to next week's game?
Well, I am sure we will qualify because looking at the confidence that the boys have, and actually the record speaks volumes because we've been able to be unbeaten for almost over 10 games now, and we've gained the momentum, we've gained the confidence. Obviously, it's not going to be an easy game next week, but based on what we have and what we've seen, obviously there could be some chops and changes, but I want to be sure that we will qualify, especially looking at the gap at the top of the table. So I'm positive that Bafana will qualify.
Yeah. And now let's move on to rugby. I mean, like this morning, we've seen that the Springboks rather have been defeated by the All Blacks. Just unpack, that whole scenario on what happened this morning.
Well, for me, I think the Boks were prepared for the game. But obviously, New Zealand is a very tricky side, especially when you get to play a game that's in their comfort zone. Because in the opening minutes of the game, we saw the Springboks opening with the high tempo, which is what actually New Zealand wanted to do because it's not easy to control them when the tempo of the game is high. Obviously, they are creative. Obviously, they can see the spaces. So they were quick to gain a lead, a 7-point lead, which came bad and had an effect to the focus of the game where the Springboks are concerned, because now they were tempered with in terms of focus and also in terms of creative play. They were too hungry to try and respond and get back into the game. We did try to fight back during the first half, but I think the substitutes that we made were actually critical to try and change the game, because now we went more back into the Springboks culture, which is kick and chase, So we saw Sasha Ngomezulu coming in for Uvilileru, which I felt for me, the game was too physical and too fast for Uvilileru. So I had expected Sasha Ngomezulu to start the game. I think Williams was doing good as a number 9, but also we needed someone who was a bit buffed up and who was able to make the physical contact instead of relying more into the spaces and the pace, because he's that such a type of a player. But with Reina being introduced, he was able to make those contacts. And then we saw the power game of the Springboks that we know, trying to build a mall, working on those throw-ins, the Lockers being able to win those balls for us. But unfortunately, by the time we tried to close the gap, it was 17-24, 70th minute when we put the try. So it was not easy for us to be able to actually win the game, because time was not on our side, and the gap in between the points was a bit large for us to close, because we needed to ensure that we put a try and we convert to win the game.
Yeah. And you've just mentioned that the Springbok culture is kick and chase. I mean, like, what happened this time? We didn't really expect that, we might actually fail this time around. Do you think that we will actually do better next time?
Yes, I'm positive we will do better next time. If you look at the game that we were playing against Australia, we were trying to play a simulation of the New Zealand type of rugby play, which is, I think, is trying to mix and match a bit of both so that we could be a bit unpredictable, because if you go internationally, everyone knows that the strong point of the Springboks is having power and making that contact, So when we mix a bit of both, it makes it difficult for the opposition to predict. But I think when you play a side like New Zealand, you don't want to go into their turf and comfort zone,
Yeah.
So because we do understand that when you make it physical for them, if you were checking the tempers around the 70th minute with the players doing a pull around, also the New Zealand team was trying to get frustrated and getting under immense pressure, because now Springboks was doing something that makes them uncomfortable. So I'm sure next week is just a matter of going back to the drawing board, correct a few things, and I think it will be payback time next week. But obviously, it's going to be a tough one,
Yeah, and now looking on to the national teams and now looking locally at the teams, or rather football teams, the signing of the Kaizer Chiefs signing onto a new player. So what's your thought onto that?
Well, I think Kaizer Chiefs is doing quite fine, because when you look at the Kaizer Chiefs defense this season, we have been able to avoid conceding goals, and we've been able to win most of the games that we've already played. So it tells us that in the defense department, we're actually doing good. Obviously, we would want to beef up in the middle field going forward, because that's where everything comes from. The goals need to come from the distribution. And when you look at the nature of football that is played generally in the PSL right now, it's more a tika-taka and a very fast, high intense type of game. So you need to have options and have different players so that you could be able to create something that will make the game difficult for the opponent. So I think for me, Kaizer Chiefs is actually in the right direction. And now we're no longer crying about buying players from Chicken Farm or buying one and getting one free. At least when we see at the signings now, they've been able to beef up and actually try and satisfy the followers and the fans. So having to sign a player that was playing up there in Egypt coming to play here in South Africa, it's actually a good move for us, because now we can tell there's determination and there's something that the club wants to achieve. We're not just buying players for the sake of buying.
Yeah, and also just to delve in depth within the signing of Kanyiso Mayo, do you really think particular him he would have that change within the team? And where precisely?
Well, I think in the attacking department, from the center midfield going up to the striker position, he's actually going to make things happen for us, because remember, most of the time we use Lulepo, or it's going to be Dupreez, or it's going to be Duba. So it becomes a bit predictable to our opponents, because if you study how they play almost in a similar way. So having to buy a player that's been able to play in Egypt, that's been tried and tested, and having such skills, the pace, and also the age, I think is what will give him an advantage, because when we look at the Chiefs squad, it's full of youngsters when you take it from the midfield going to the striker. And sometimes I feel like maybe these young boys are too energetic and fast for him to adapt. Sometimes you find that maybe Lilepo, you shouldn't have paired him with a player like Du Shabalala, who's too quick, So I think the young boy is actually going to make wonders in the Kaizer Chiefs squad. And we've heard him saying on the socials that his blood is actually gold and black, but we're going to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I've been hearing you speak and you're busy saying we. Are you a Kaizer Chiefs fan?
Well, I speak on behalf of a football fan. I'm actually just a football fan. So when I say we, I mean as journalists.
Okay. Just checking. I'm just checking. And moving on to rugby. The Lady Box versus Italy. So what are the outcomes, or rather expectations within that?
Well, for me, looking at the build-up, even before going to the World Cup, we first played with the Black Ferns. I think the first game we didn't do good, but the second game, which was our last game before the World Cup, we actually did good, and we managed to trump them with the victory. And having won the first two games in the Rugby World Cup, it has actually lifted the morale. It has actually given them confidence. And if you check how they play, they are able to balance between power, high pace and speed, creativity. But I think I love the approach that they want to be using tomorrow's game, because it would be more focused on playing with power and being more physical, because even the French side, it's not an easy side. They are very quick, very fast, very creative. And once you let them into a game, it's very difficult to clamp them. So we've also seen some of the players in the socials and in some media reports saying we are actually ready for this one, such as a player like Ubabalwa Lacha, who was confident enough to say they're actually 100% prepared for the game. They understand it's going to be a challenge, but they want to embrace what they've already started, being able to win. And I think what will give me the more oomph, it's knowing that it's the last game of the pool table draw, and then they'll be able to get to the quarterfinals, which was said by most of the supporters and the analysts. Guti, if we can hear a word that says quarterfinal, semi-final, final, it means anything is possible, because there's no guarantee of what's going to happen.
Yeah. Let's talk about the possibilities, of them being qualified into the World Cup. Who are your upcoming, or rather stand-up components within the team?
Well, for me, I think almost the entire team is doing good, But for me, I think I noted our number 10 and number 9, who were actually selected from the 7th rugby. I've also noted our number 8, who actually has too much power, because when she breaks, she's able to take 2 or 3 people along with her. I think our winger, Ubabalwa Lacha, Naya, she's been actually doing a magnificent job. Also the number 15. So for me, it's actually the entire team, the way they are able to work together is what has made things very easy for them. Because when you look at how they play, you would assume it's an easy game, but it takes a whole lot of practice and perfection.
Yeah. And moving along to boxing, Tyson versus Floyd, what's that? Or rather your intake onto that?
Well, that is an exhibition fight that's going to happen sometime next year.
Yeah.
The date and venue has not really been confirmed, but I think it's going to be one of the biggest anticipated fights, more than what we had expected, between Floyd Mayweather and the Philippines guy, Upakio, because these are two great champions that have actually made their names in different generations, if you allow me to say, because Mike Tyson made his history, building up to the early 90s and late 90s, and also when Floyd Mayweather came through, he was a legend in the making, and he's a legend in his own right. So what I think we anticipate to see, and the boxing fraternity wants to see, we know that Mike Tyson is a knockout specialist.
Yeah.
That's the type of a boxer that he is. But we understand that Floyd is not a knockout specialist, but he tries to fight behind. So he's always guards up, protected, but working with the chances that you avail. So it's actually a nice contrast that everyone wants to see. We've heard them speaking, Tyson saying he doesn't understand how Floyd made this decision because it's detrimental to his health, while Floyd was saying he's been there for more than 30 years in different divisions, and he's actually been unstoppable, and he has no loss. So it's actually going to be a big thing in the fraternity.
Yeah, and just more onto that, I'm just interested in just finding out your thoughts. I mean, like you've just said that being into the industry for like more than 30 years, do you think that he's actually fit enough, or both of the components being fit enough?
Well, one thing we know about Floyd, he's always at the gym, he's always working hard. Even when he was a boxer, while his friends were going up to a club, he would be taking a jog from 12 until 5 a.m. in the morning. So I think he's always there. Well, with the Iron Mike, I'm not sure if he's 100% fit, but we've seen his exhibition fight, I think recently, where he actually lost in that fight. But knowing Tyson, he doesn't need too much. The only thing he needs is accuracy, speed, and power, because he doesn't do a lot of ring movement. So I'm sure he's still good at that, because that's what made him a legend. So yeah, I think they both fit enough, I would say.
Yeah.
But someone I would guarantee that is always at the gym. It's Floyd.
Yeah. All right then. Okay, moving along to Tunisia. What's happening right there? So what are we expecting rather in Tunisia?
Well, I think it's still some of the qualifiers that are happening. I'm not going to lie, I've been having a busy day, so I didn't check in terms of the build up to that game and also how they've been doing, in their previous games. But I think more than anything, right now everyone is fighting for a spot to the World Cup, but also they're gearing up, for the AFCON. We've seen what was happening in the chain. Even African sides that you wouldn't think they would make it big, like your Madagascar, they were able to get to the final, semi-finals, So I think in each and every game that we're going to see now, because I think it's the last, not more than 5 games that are going to be played for qualifiers. So everyone is under pressure, everyone wants to qualify. And sometimes the statistics do not even speak when it comes to a game. It's the 90 minutes that you are given that gets to tell what's going to happen next.
All right, Yamgela, thank you so much for joining us on Africa at Play. And that was Yamgele Sifingo, a seasoned sports journalist, giving us, some extensive, analysis and insights on what's happening in and around the world of sports. Let's be back. We'll be back after this short break.
No fairy tales, just the facts and the music you love on Channel Africa.
But while I'm gone, I mean, everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. I say, everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. So woman, don't cry. No woman, don't cry. Oh my little sister, don't shed no tears. No woman, don't cry. I remember when we used to sit in the government yard in Trenchtown, and then Georgie would make the firelight as it was like wood burning through the night. Then we would cook cornmeal porridge, of which I'll share with you. My feet is my only carriage, so I've got to push on through. But while I'm gone, no woman no cry. No woman no cry. Oh my little darling, say don't shed no tears. No woman no cry. Hey, little darling, don't shed no tears. No woman no cry. Little sister, don't shed no tears. No woman no cry.
Africa at Play, beautifully, happily marrying sports and music.
Chérie, pas de chichi. تقل شي وزيدي تقل شي. Chérie, pas de chichi. تقل شي وزيدي تقل شي. شري بادو شيشي تقل شي وزيدي تقل شي 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 شري بادو شيشي
We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet, Channel 628.
This is my decision. This is my decision. I don't think you listen. You listen. I don't think you listen. For me to come out, it must mean I'm a teacher. It must mean I'm not the same. It must mean I'm on your case. For me to come out, it means that I'm not the teacher. I want to show you my world. One break, I need faith. Faith to believe you, faith to receive you. Give me something I'm lacking. I don't need nothing. You are my everything. Only me and you. Only me and you. Only me and you. Only me and you. Only me
18 minutes past 4, and I am your host for today, standing in for Neto Chemane while I'm Prudence Makhubalo, and we actually had a triple play. So now it was Thames, me and you, and then before then it was Cheb Mami, Larray, C Est, Chick, my goodness, and then earlier on it was No Woman, No Cry from Bob Marley. And moving right along, we've got a sports rap from our Zambian correspondent, Namuchana Lukezo. Let's listen in for more.
Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania successfully hosted the 2024 CHAN tournament. Is this a sign that the three Eastern African countries are ready to co-host the 2027 AFCON? What lessons can other African countries learn from Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda? This is our topic for today. I spoke to Danny Kawe, who is a coach here in Zambia. Danny has successfully coached a lot of clubs here in Zambia and outside Zambia. And my interview with Mr. Danny Kawe went on like this.
Zambia was in Kenya, and I was privileged to be part of the team that were in Kenya. From my observation and judgment, I think the pitches that Kenya prepared for the tournament were in tip-top. The hotels were good, the training ground excellent. That is the main factor that CAF considers is accommodation, training facility, final training ground. Coming to the supporters, it's typical of fans. When the local team is playing, when the host team is playing, because they know the players, that's where they go to support. These others will find, yes, a handful of local, handful of, like it were the Zambians who are in Kenya. That's what it is. But over and above, these guys are ready. Like Kenya, no. They have really put up nice infrastructure, which if you have to take Africa Cup even tomorrow, I think they are ready to host. The readiness, preparedness of Kenya itself, because that's where we work, and give them, I think, 85%.
What are some of the lessons that those countries that would want to host such tournaments, what lessons can they learn from Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania?
You know, this thing is, it's not like us can manage to do everything. There's supposed to be some government support, and you saw, you were reading how the president of Kenya supported the Harambee Stars. So in whatever we do, in whatever investment that we need government support. So that's why our president is talking about 25. He's talking about, let's make use of the Republican president, because he's a patron. He cannot only be a patron when there's a game and then you invite him. Even when in the issues of where we are lacking, I think we have to involve him. You should know, patron is over a boss of fight, and without government support, we cannot go anywhere. Look at how we tried to renovate stadiums in Mansa, Chipata, and what have you. That is for schoolboys. But if you look at how Kenya, they've got three beautiful pitches that can host even in World Cup, because they've really maintained their pitches. Or about government support, we cannot run away from it. I think that is the lesson that we need to do. Let's make use of the patron who is the Republican president, so that we can solicit for help and work on our pitches. Yes, the Minister of Youth and Sport are doing very well. I'm sure they're still working on the Hero Stadium. But we need to have another stadium. So if we can have three stadiums, then we can be good to go.
There is this issue that is emerging in the world of football, where countries would want to come together and co-host a tournament. From your own perspective, do you think that this is the right way now that all countries, more especially on the African continent, should take? Countries should be co-hosting tournaments, unlike going it alone.
I'm sure that is a very good initiative that Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda did, because they looked at how do they improve the infrastructure, and maybe they've got limited resources. If you talk about South Africa can host the Africa Cup single-handed. Morocco can host the Africa Cup single-handed. I'm sure they are hosting World Cup, because it's just the question of Morocco and Spain and each other country. So the issue is, yes, hosting is good, because now you divide the cost. It also make you wake up as a country. So at least if we've got minimal, like we've got two beautiful stadiums here, and we need about 5 stadiums to host the tournament. How do we do it? Where can we go? So the best way is to say, yes, Tanzania, Zambia, and Botswana. So there are 3 stadiums there, there are 2 stadiums here, there are 3 stadiums there in the other country. I think it's a good thing to do, so that people are also familiarized and people are also experienced the hosting. It can be a partial host, but a piece of experience. You have hosted this tournament in your country for 5 games. I think that's a very good idea. But if there are countries that are ready, like Morocco, South Africa, they can do that because those guys are ready. The infrastructure is already set. But for us, like Zambia, I think we can also clean up with other countries so that we can also improve our stadiums. Like I said, I'm happy with what the Minister of Youth are doing. They're improving heroes. It's government support. That's what we need.
Finally, are you happy with the quality of football that we watched at this Eastern tournament?
The quality of football, yes. We played against the Congo, we played against Angola, we played against Morocco and Kenya. The quality is okay because most of these people like Morocco, they started way back. Morocco, I think they've got 2 teams. The team that is coming this weekend is different from the Chan team of the local base. But these are it's the progression, the succession policy that they have, which is working for them. Kenya, most of the players play locally, so it was good quality. Zambia, yes, we took our locals, but we didn't do well. I'm sure we didn't meet the standard of Congo, Kenya, and Morocco. But the standard was excellent, especially to improve the locals. I think that's the way to go. What needs to be done, like in Zambia, is our succession plan should be in place. I think we have to concentrate on the under 17, under 20.
The views of Danny Kawe, who is a coach here in Zambia. I also have with me Wezi Mazunda, sports analyst. Wezi, thank you so much for having taken time to talk to Channel Africa. Wezi, we are looking at the lessons that other African countries can learn from Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. These countries, they have successfully hosted the 2024 Chan tournament. So, Wezi, what lessons can other African countries learn from the 3 Eastern African countries that successfully co-hosted the Chan tournament, and are they ready for the 2027 African Cup of Nations?
The Chan tournament was a very good tournament, well organized by the 3 East African countries. That was the way to go. Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya, they did a fantastic job. Yes, 2027 AFCON, they want to host it. Yeah, well, why not? I mean, the facilities are there. A lesson for African countries, well, it's simple. It's possible. This is doable. Countries can host this event. The will must be there. The government will must be there. The infrastructure must be there. The financial resources must be there. Working together must be there. It's not easy. We're now living in harsh economic times. That's a reality, and there has to be a commitment. You have to start planning. If you have a vision, very good vision, it's of good economic value. Ask Morocco, they'll testify. Morocco is doing a great job. Look at what they're doing now. Any event that comes, you want to host, they'll just tell you will host it. It may be a delay, but we'll host it. You have the facilities. The key thing is to have the facilities. Start to build this stadium. Start now. Engage the neighboring countries that you feel you can be able to work with. If a country cannot go it alone, then it can work with other countries. So you engage the other countries, see how best the countries can work together, how the infrastructure development is moving, buy into the concept, and know how much money will come in. It's good money at the end of the day when you get to host these events. And sometimes maybe as a test run, you don't really just have to start by hosting the AFCON proper, WAFCON proper. You can start with other events, junior competitions, and besides, hosting these events also encourage the sports in your country to grow and develop competitively. It motivates the athletes, to believe in themselves. You bring in revenue into the game of football, tourism, you expose your country, open up your country to the outside continent, so also be able to come and watch even from just the global stage, because I'm sure even scouts will come and watch the players will be playing. So the benefits are huge, but what matters is the starting point itself. It has to start from somewhere. You have to be focused. There has to be a vision. You need to sit down, collaborate if you're not able to host on your own, and if you find that it's a costly venture, but it's doable. Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya have shown us that it's a very possible thing that can be done if you give yourself enough time. If countries give themselves enough time to work on this project, it can be a success, and it's good for development of Africa, development of football in Africa as a whole.
Wezi, thank you so much for having taken time to talk to us.
Thank you very much.
Wezi Mazunda, sports analyst, talking to us today. We were looking at Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania that successfully hosted the 2024 Chan tournament. We were asking, is this a sign that the 3 Eastern African countries are ready to co-host the 2027 AFCON? We were also asking, what lessons can other African countries learn from Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda? We had Coach Danny Kawe and sports analyst Wezi Mazunda for Channel Africa Sports. I'm Chana from Zambia.
Ukatili wa kijinsia unaharibu maisha na kutenga jamii. Hutokea nyumbani, shuleni, kazini na mara nyingi kwa ukimya. Lakini lakini hauwezi kuendelea. Ukiona, ongea. Ikiwa unaumia, funguka, kwa sababu kutofanya lolote sio chaguo. Sikiliza vituo vyote 19 vya redio kuanzia Jumatano ya tarehe 23 Julai kwenye mijadala, ushauri, tamthilia, maonyesho ya elimu na mahojiano na wataalamu, manusura, watunga sheria na nchi nzima iliyoathirika na ukatili wa kijinsia kwenye vituo vyako pendwa vya redio. Piga simu 0800-428-428 ili kuripoti unyanyasaji au kupata msaada. GBV ikomeshwe na wewe. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwenu na shirika la SABC.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
It's actually the last hour of Africa at Play, and it's just 29 minutes past 4, and I'm your host, Prudence Makhubalo, standing in for the great Neto Chemane. And earlier on, we were listening to, one of our Zambia correspondents who actually gave us a wrap on, today's topical story, where we actually thought, it was a food for thought, whether if, East African countries are actually ready to be hosting the CHAN tournament. So on the line, I'm actually, joined by the Zambian correspondent, Namuchana Lukezo. Welcome to, Africa at Play, and your thoughts on the, topic for today.
Yeah, good afternoon, Babazil, and good afternoon to all our listeners on the African continent. Always a pleasure to be hosted by you. Yeah, my thoughts are that we would like to thank the 3 Eastern African countries, Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya, for successfully hosting the CHAN tournament that was supposed to have been played last year, 2024, but it was pushed to 2025 due to unforeseen circumstances by the Confederation of African Football, CAF. We have seen great infrastructure there. That is one thing that just pleased me in terms of infrastructure, great stadiums, even the playing surfaces there, they were so impressive. The only thing that got me worried, Babazil, is the turnout of soccer fans. We saw that in most all the matches, I'll just say all the matches, whenever a host nation is not playing, the turnout wasn't all that good, and I feel that somehow dampened maybe the morale of the African soccer fans. We expect soccer fans to come out whenever there are matches of such magnitude, because the CHAN is a precursor to the African Cup of Nations. So these are countries that are going to host the 2027 African Cup of Nations. So if soccer fans are coming out in numbers to cheer all the teams that will converge in Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, then it will turn out to be a boring African Cup of Nations. But we hope for the best. We know that the principles of the game in those 3 countries, they have taken note of that. Otherwise, they have done a great job. I'm so impressed with the infrastructure, most especially in Kenya. We witnessed one of the best, and what more, with is it Nelson Mandela Stadium in Uganda, fantastic stadium to watch. This is what we're supposed to be seeing on the African continent, unlike a situation where we know that the other countries they have been told by the Confederation of African Football, CAF, to say, look, we cannot allow you to host any games because you do not have suitable stadiums that meet our international standards. But what we witnessed at CHAN in East Africa is superb, and I believe in my heart that by the time we reach 2027, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania will be fully ready to welcome the African continent and to welcome each and everybody who will go to East Africa for the AFCON 2027.
I actually heard your conversation with Wezi Mazunda, the sports analyst, where she actually unpacked that it was a fantastic job and also it is doable. But then the facilities are not enough. But it's also a good way in making money. Are you able just to maybe like unpack how is it a good way on making money, most especially if these countries are able to host this tournament?
Yeah, but look, a tournament like the African Cup of Nations, the CHAN, these are great tournaments. When teams go to a country to participate in any tournament, they don't just go as national teams. They are soccer fans where, a lot of people, they will troop such a country. Then in the end, what do you have? You have people who are going there to watch football. Not only have they gone there to watch football, but they will go and sample the tourism sites that they can see. So in the end, a country benefits in terms of forex. We have seen this in great countries like Morocco and Egypt. And whenever people have gone to Egypt and whenever Egypt has hosted the African Cup of Nations, people even go and watch the pyramids of Egypt. So the more you have people who are coming to AFCON, you are rest assured that they are coming in with forex, they are going to boost your economy, the local businesses in your country will thrive. So ultimately, it offers an opportunity to everybody, starting from the government itself, in terms of raking in foreign exchange, to small-scale business people out there, those who are into various merchandise. That is an opportunity for them to make money. So these are some of the issues that African governments should dwell on. Sports now has become big business. It is not just a by-the-way thing. It is not just something for entertainment anymore. Those who know the value of sports, like Morocco, like countries like South Africa that have invested so much into sports infrastructure, they know, look at the legacy that has been left in South Africa after hosting the 2010 World Cup. The entire world converged in South Africa, okay? And South Africa built beautiful stadiums. Not only did they spend money, but they also reaped money in terms of the people who went to South Africa to go and watch the 2010 World Cup. So it brings in a lot of advantages, and like dwelling on the disadvantages of spending more. Actually, you spend more, yes, by building infrastructure, but in the end, it will market your country, it will put your country on the world map. Your local people who are into various businesses, at the end of the day, they will make money, and that is the only way we can develop as African. And how I wish politicians on the African continent, those who have been charged with the responsibilities of running sports, they should treat sports as a business. And Africa can make a lot of money out of a tournament like the African Cup of Nations, CHAN, and of course the World Cup itself. So, Babazile, with due respect, it is high time we looked at sports as a business, not just as mere entertainment.
True. Okay, well, the words of Namuchana, looking at sports as a business. And now on to this international break. Zambia play a dead rubber game against Morocco with Calvin Kampamba and Frankie Musonda ruled out. I mean, like, just looking at Zambia's coach, Grant, adapting to his strategy to overcome the absence of Calvin as well as Frankie. So do you think that there could be an impact onto that, most especially on that match with Morocco?
Yeah, like you rightly put it, this is a dead rubber game. It has it has no impact whatsoever on the Zambia national soccer team. Despite them, they have been given 3 points by the World Soccer Governing Board, FIFA. So now Zambia sits on 6 points. Let's assume they win all their remaining 3 games. It won't change anything. They won't have that chance to go and play in that play of sport that is there. So it is just a matter of fulfilling fixtures, whether Zambia has got players who are injured or not. To me, it doesn't make any sense. But they will have to play Morocco, and you are aware, Babazile, that Morocco last night qualified to the World Cup, and they became the first country to do so after hammering Niger by 5-0. So we heard from the coach of Morocco yesterday saying he's going to change his team since they have already qualified. So he wants to try out new players against Zambia on Monday at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola. So, but I would encourage the Zambia national soccer team coach, this is Avram Grant, to use this game against Morocco, maybe to give other players a chance so that they can prove themselves. You are aware, Neto, you are aware, Babazile, that Zambia has qualified to the African Cup of Nations that will be hosted by Morocco in December. So this is the time to gauge players. So the only way we can do that, Babazile, it is to make sure that the coach gives chance to other players who don't play for the Zambia national soccer team. This is not the time to pick up injuries, but this is the time now to gauge our players, to see which players can fit in the Zambia national soccer team, because December is not far away from now, and Zambia has qualified to the African Cup of Nations. So they should treat this game, which is just a dead rubber game, just like an international friendly match, because Morocco, they have absolutely nothing to lose. They have qualified to the World Cup, and they did so last night. So they won't come to Zambia guns blazing for them to look for points. They will do everything possible to protect their best players. Even as I'm talking to you now, Babazile, the Morocco national soccer team arrived this morning in Ndola, and they were received by Football Association of Zambia officials. So we only hope that the Zambia national soccer team, the coach, this is Avram Grant, will take this game seriously as a way of trying to gauge his players, to see which players can go and deliver for him at the African Cup of Nations in December in Morocco, Babazif.
And just to continue the conversation, work has begun rather at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium, and also the Football Association plan to introduce VAR. Isn't that late, maybe, to introduce VAR?
No, we have what the VAR was introduced to Zambia, I think, in 2023. It hasn't just been fully implemented because they were still training officials, referees on how to use it. So the Football Association of Zambia now, in conjunction with the Zambia Premier League, they are hoping that this is the right time now to use the VAR during the 2025-2026 Zambian season. So they're almost done, and we only hope that we have got facilities to implement VAR, and those who have been trained to operate it. And I'm sure by now they have all the knowledge that they need, and we only hope they're not going to bring more confusion to the Zambian game. So coming to the issue of the repairs at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola, about 2,500 chairs were damaged last year during a Premier League game between Power Dynamos and Nkana Football Club. And these are town rivals, and this is the only derby that we normally have in Zambia. Whenever Power is playing Nkana or Nkana playing Power, either way, it's the greatest derby that we have here. So, unruly Nkana fans after Power Dynamos was given a penalty in the 89th minute, they saw it fit to damage 2,500 seats at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium, and they were ordered by the Football Association of Zambia to make sure that as Nkana Football Club, they repair those seats at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium and make sure that every seat that was damaged is bought and repaired, and Nkana Football Club was even fined. And we only hope that by the end of this year, they should be able to finish to repair those seats that the unruly Nkana Football Club damaged last year at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium. Otherwise, the works are ongoing, though they are moving at a snail's pace, but we only hope that they should be able to finish those works before December. Otherwise, it was a very, very unfortunate situation that the soccer fans can vent their anger on chairs that are inside the stadium.
Okay. And just before I let you go, former Chipolopolo forward Tapson Kasiba passes away, and also just certain tournaments or rather updates that we are looking for in Zambia. What's making headlines right there?
Yeah, very, very unfortunate that Tapson Kaseva, who was, look, this is a guy who has played at the highest level. He has represented Zambia at the national team level. He died on Wednesday at the university teaching hospital in the early hours. A very sad state of affairs. Tapson is one of the players who is very, very talented. He played for a lot of clubs, and that include the Limehorse Spurs in Zambia, Kasanshi Dynamos, Magnificent Cabo Warriors, Green Eagles, Napsa Stars, Buildcon, and Concola Blades. And to have a guy of such immense talent to leave us like this, it is really extremely unfortunate, but nobody can stop death, and the football family is really saddened in Zambia that Tapson had to go in such a manner. We have lost somebody who was highly talented and represented this country at the highest level. And the only thing we can say, Babazile, is that we wish the family of Tapson God's blessings and comfort during this difficult time. Otherwise, away from the issues of the late Tapson Kaseva, there isn't much that is happening here apart from the under-17 netball team that has continued to prepare for the World Cup that will be played in Gibraltar. You are aware that Zambia will represent the African continent at the Under-17 World Cup in Gibraltar. So they are fine-tuning their preparations, and we only hope they are going to bring good things to Zambia, and maybe even probably just go and win the World Cup itself.
And that was the voice of our Zambian correspondent, Namuchana Lukezo, just giving us, an update rather. First of all, we spoke about, the topic of the day, whether if the Eastern African countries are ready to co-host the 2027 AFCON, and also the lessons what other African countries can learn from the three African nations, as well as he also rather spoke with one of the Zambian coaches, as well as Wes Muzunda, the sports analyst, rather, onto that conversation. And we will be right back after this short break.
Annie Kalonji. sur Channel Africa.
Nous allons à présent dérouler notre tapis rouge pour accueillir notre personnalité du jour, l'artiste chanteur Sheky Frey qui est en ligne de Guinée avec nous.
Je suis un artiste guinéen, un créateur, un styliste et je fais un peu ce qui plaît à mes fans. Voilà, c'est un peu ça. On a beaucoup de genres de trucs à faire, mais bon, pour le moment, on est basé un peu sur le rap.
D'accord. À quelle période de votre vie avez-vous commencé à vous intéresser à la musique, Sheky?
Bon, je crois pas qu'il y ait une période, parce que moi, je suis un mélomane depuis mon petit âge.
Annika Longi, tous les dimanches sur Mix Vibration.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
And it's just got 48 minutes past 4, and I'm your host, Prudence Makhubalo. I mean, like you've heard, Namuchana saying Babazile. In case you didn't know, my other name is Babazile Makhubalo, and also known as Prudence Makhubalo. And now in studio, I am joined by Annika Longi. So what are we expecting on Mixed Vibrations?
Bonjour Prudence, bonjour à tous les auditeurs de Channel Africa. Alors on se retrouve tout à l'heure sur Mix Vibration. Les habitués savent comment ça se passe. On danse, on bouge au son de rythme, des belles mélodies, n'est-ce pas, de la musique africaine. Nous allons écouter de la musique d'un peu partout. Nous serons au Nigeria, nous serons en République démocratique du Congo. Nous allons écouter de la rumba. Nous allons écouter, bref, tous les genres de musique, n'est-ce pas, qui sont explorés ici en Afrique. Et aujourd'hui, nous allons nous entretenir avec un talentueux artiste qui nous vient du Gabon. Il s'appelle Scario et avec lui, on va parler de son parcours musical. Et je vous invite, chers auditeurs, à rester branchés sur notre site web pour ne rien manquer de cette interview. Merci beaucoup. Prudence.
And that was the beautiful voice of Annika Longi on what you can expect rather at 5 p.m. on Mixed Vibrations. And I could say that it is the last hour of the show, and it's actually, time to wrap up Africa at Play. And I wasn't alone, rather, in studio. I was with, the beautiful lady who makes the sound to actually sound more, sound rather than that where you can be able to listen to me. And also one of the guests in studios is actually Chuchu Maleka. Thank you so much for being with me. And also one of the greatest producers on Africa at Play is Andy Mali. And then also just wrapping up for today with me, Prudence Makhubalo, and I will be able to catch you tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow on Africa at Play, as Neto Chemane would say, Asideleli Siashaya.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.